Hello, good morning. I'm gonna turn the volume up here. Not like I need it, I don't know why. And open this up, and hopefully when comments pop up, I'll be able to see them. Set my phone down. Give a minute or two. I did have to move the live forward, and I apologize to everyone who specifically set this live in their schedules, but we only have like 3 hours to get our little plant babies into the ground today. And yeah, that was right in the middle of when my live was scheduled. Weather, gotta love it. Anywho, I'm gonna give a couple of minutes and then I'll get started. Oh, it looks like I see Jenny on here. Good morning, dear. Glad to see you. Yes, I'm still having coffee, even though I've been up for over an hour already. If you pop a hello or anything on there, that'll just give me an indication if I'm getting comments. I'd appreciate that. And I don't know why I'm talking quietly. I'm going to try my best not to. So it's only 7:01, so we'll give another minute and then I'll get to it. There you are. I see your comment. Hello, Jenny. Nice to see you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now I know that comments are coming through. Oh, gotta love the morning and the chill, and a little chilly out this morning. That's why it's too early to try to get our baby plants in the ground now, but it'll be too hot if I wait till too late today. Yeah, anyway. I'm supposed to get up into the 80s, and I don't want to shock the plants. Alrighty. Anyway, it's 7:02. I don't want to take up too much of anybody's morning, so I'll go ahead and get started. I am continuing my element series, and this one is, excuse me, this one is air. Air magic. It's energies that pulse all around us. So it shows that I have 2 people watching, but it's not saying a second person. That's okay. No big deal. Good morning, whoever you are. Anyway, air elemental magic. It feels like having, yes, it is a beautiful morning. It feels like having command over the unseen energies of wind, breath, and intellect, right? Energies that pulse all around. I personally love how air magic lets me express myself, move more freely, and think more creatively. When I tap into the element of air, I imagine myself just up in the clouds, sending messages through the breeze and stirring up a gust that sweeps through my thoughts. That's like the best way that I could describe that, or my creative way of describing it, I guess. Sometimes I use feathers, or I'll waft incense as part of my practice. These tools make the experience just more vivid as I'm working it, and I channel the wild energy of air. Every time I do work with air, it feels like I'm unlocking a new layer of my mind and my spirit, bringing excitement and inspiration. So, your key aspects of air magic. Fundamental principles, first off. For me, it feels like a living, and it is. It doesn't just feel like it. It's a living, moving energy that connects everything around me. When I work with air, I notice how it sharpens my mind, sparks my intuition, and brings clarity. Helps to bring clarity to my thoughts. It's kind of like, wafting through and getting rid of the old stagnant thoughts and bringing in new creativity. It's as if it's helping me to think more clearly and tuning in, right? Right, yes, speaking to you like the spirits talking to you, yes, and it does feel like that also. I can absolutely agree with you. Ooh. So symbolism, and tools. I do like working with tools and different symbols that represent air, like facing east if I'm doing ritual work, air represents east, or east represents air. Or using colors like yellow or white. Sometimes I like to ring a bell. I love to use incense, or even a feather to help me channel that air energy. These little touches always, like I said a few moments ago, it just makes it more visual, feels more alive, more personal. That's the best way that I can describe that. Wind manipulation. Sometimes I imagine stirring up the breezes or even calling down a storm when my emotions are really high. And it doesn't matter what emotion it is, because they all can get really high. The idea that I can influence the air around me, even just a gust or a gentle wind, it fills me with excitement, which of course then I get more excited about whatever working I'm doing. Flight and speed. Whenever I do tap into air magic, I picture myself above the clouds, feeling lighter, faster, almost as if the wind itself is helping me to move effortlessly. Mental and psychic, I think I'm kind of already covering that a little bit, but I'm gonna do it anyway, more. It always does boost my creativity and helps me connect with my intuition. I find myself thinking more clear, coming up with new ideas and feeling inspired in different ways that actually I surprise myself. And when we think of air magic, also think of sound and illusion, because sound travels through air, right? So I like playing with sound and even illusion when I'm working with air. That's why I brought up the bell. It carries, right? So, yeah. When we, even using sound when working with air is very helpful. It kind of helps with that mental and the psyche to associate, right? It's confronting to know that air can be shaped into invisible shields. When I need protection, I imagine wrapping myself in a barrier made of air, my bubble, right? There's my barrier, keeping negativity away and helping me feel secure. There are elemental associations to air, spirits being sliffs, and their spirits I do call in when I'm working with air. They feel like playful, wispy companions who bring extra energy and inspiration to my rituals. I forget how many pages I have here. Different creatures, birds, wind dragons also capture the spirit of air for me. I love watching the birds soaring, or picture sometimes a dragon up in the clouds riding the wind, reminding me of freedom and movement. Magical type. When I use air magic, I feel, powerful. like a sorcerer, able to move quickly and dodging obstacles. Like characters in games who rely on speed and agility. It's a reminder that air magic is all about flexibility and staying light on your feet also. So, the element of air, it's always around us. Honestly, though, we don't always feel connected to it. And sometimes not like we do with other elements. Maybe you feel the same way too, I'm not sure. No, my bubble is very important to me. Yes, my bubble. I even have a little saying that I use when people get too close to me and I don't want them in my energy field. I will tell them, you're in my bubble. Step away. So, God, I've used that phrase for years. So yes, the bubble, very important. God, it's chilly. Anyway, I think I think part of why we don't always think of air when we're working with elemental magic is because it's invisible, you know? Unlike earth, fire, water, right? They're more of, they are a very visible element. But then we have two elements that are not so visible. Air and spirit, right? And most days I don't even see the air at all, right? I mean, we just don't. I have to take a breath, and realize, oh yeah, there it is. There it is. And of course we do it to help calm ourselves, but we're utilizing air element immediately. More recently, though, I've discovered there's a whole other world hiding in the air around me. And you can experience this as well. It's kind of like, or this is how I think of it. It's an energetic realm filled with spirits, energies, psychic messages, and connections to every other thing out there. It shares the same traits as the physical and personal sides of air. Communication, change, beginning, spirit, travel, and expansion. Sorry, I thought that was a comment. But it's so much more than that. It is. It exists in the energetic realms that are, they're hard to pin down, but once you start to sense them, absolutely unmistakable. Every day, we live in this. Oh, no worries, being late. We're just getting going. I've only been on for a few minutes. Every day, we live in this magical realm of air, breathing it in, walking right through it, right? We do this every day. We do this every moment. We do this all night in our sleep. It doesn't matter. We're in that air element consistently. It shapes my mindset and my spirit, though. I know that air is easy to ignore, but we cannot deny its presence and its power. Anyway, let me see here. I guess one of the ways that I can think of is just, whenever you do think of air and you're wanting to work with it, even if it's just to help take a breath and calm yourself down, it's just envision its movement as you're taking deep breaths, right? Good way to bring it in. Let me see here. So envisioning the elements of air. So when I tune in, I feel like I'm part of something much bigger than myself, as if I'm connected to everything on Earth and in the skies, right? It's kind of wild to realize that everything is linked by thought and energy, but it is. I picture myself as sort of a hub, right? Just like magic, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not real. Very, very good, Jenny. That's exactly a great way to think about that. It's there. Anyway, these connections, they feel very tangible, like little silvery strands flowing out in all directions. And the bonds I share with those closest to me seem to glow a little brighter, thicker, right? Anyway, so one of the ways, or something that I think is pretty cool to try, is think of someone you're really close to, but you don't live with, right? You know, close friend, family member, whoever, right? Imagine there's a thread that connects you, and notice how it links you both to other people, places, and different things. That friend has their own web of connections also. Some overlap with yours, while others are completely separate. Now add a couple more people to that vision, and suddenly it's like you're looking at this massive web with all of us linked together. Alexa, I agree. Air may not be visible, but we can definitely feel it, especially wind and breath. Yes, ma'am. Yes. When I work with the magical element of air, I do like to use like I've already said, I like to use incense, feathers, you know, everything like that. But I like to use something that's tangible in my hand just because it helps. It feels like whatever it is I'm using can slice right through the air itself, almost as if I'm opening a doorway between realms or worlds. Whenever I cast a circle, I picture whatever tool I'm using to like slice through the air and create a sacred space. Sometimes when I draw pentacles or pentagrams in the air, which I do that also, I imagine the marks lingering until I decide to release them. I try to hold this image in my mind throughout the entire ritual. Sometimes that's not so easy, but I do try. But it just makes my experience feel more real. That's all. And, oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'll show them. Thank you. Trying to think. And sometimes I'll even, depending on what ritual I'm doing, sometimes I'll even imagine whatever tool I'm using. And sometimes I'll even use fire, you know, with my incense and air, and I'll use that to represent both, to even sever some of those webs, you know, picture that I'm cutting through those strands. I know that they might not grow back. But that's part of severing, isn't it? Anyway. If I need to banish certain spirits, especially the ones that aren't so helpful, that's more when I'll focus on severing. I'll visualize whatever tool I'm using as being very protective, and basically see the spirit fleeting from the energy. It makes me feel safer and knowing that I can clear my space when needed. Raising energy for a spell or ritual is it is one of my favorite moments. It's a very powerful moment. I notice the air around me changing. I can feel it changing. Sometimes it feels thicker. Sometimes it feels warmer or even electric, right? I try to see the shifts in my mind, wavy lines, blurry shapes, even depending on what I'm doing, like a little tornado working up or something like that. If I use my wand, feather, incense, whatever, I picture it grabbing that energy of the air and sending it out in a burst. I love watching the energy move. Thank you. I try to give my best examples. I know sometimes they don't make any sense. They make sense in my brain, but I'm glad that it helps you to connect and to understand how I do my magic. Anyway, thank you. Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate that also. You guys are awesome. Let me see. I don't want to lose my spot either. Envisioning spirits. All kinds of spirits fly through the magical realm of air with ease, right? Several ancient pagan cultures believed that air was full of spirits all the time. Matter of fact, I say that they still believe this. The mindset likely continued for several millennia. I mean, it is continuing. And I hope it does continue to stay in that mindset for us. So try to envision the spirits in the air around you. Start by imagining ancestors, passed on loved ones, just lovingly watching you, right? They may appear as congealed forms of air in human shapes-ish. It's just however we imagine them. So they could even appear as, just a little tiny light floating around or something like that even. Oh, okay. I'm kind of jumping around a little bit on my notes. We just breathe in and goes all day long, honey. Yes, ma'am. All day long. I like that. That's a great thought. Anyway, as you're imagining these passed on loved ones and spirits and ancestors, imagine that your guardian spirits are there too. And of course, you feel peaceful and right there with you. And after you've pictured all that, look up into the sky and see them flying high in the air above you and on a mission. And obviously, what's their mission? You. They have many different kinds of forms, colors, shapes, sizes. Some look human, like I said. Others look like a little, tiny spotlight. Some look like animals. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what they look like to you. It's more of how they feel to you. Your brain's going to associate them with something. And just because we have that logical brain that tells us, in order for it to be real, we have to connect it to something or to feel real, right? So however you connect it is how you connect it. Let me see here. So basically what I'm saying is spirits and thoughts can travel easily into and through the magical realm of air. And spirits are very sensitive to thoughts. They can hear the thoughts that you transmit, and if their energy is similar, they may be attracted to you. Unless you have protective measures in place, of course, to keep away the unwanted spirits, because we do have that every now and then. They can come to you as if called to, like a mirror to and mirror, your energy back to you. I heard a bird and looked out the window before I realized it was in the live. Oh, yes, I am sitting outside, and the birds are all starting to wake up and get moving around. It's okay. Obviously, you felt the bird. Part of that air element, right? Always, oh shoot, kind of lost my spot. That's okay. Give me a minute here. And if you have anything else you want to pop on, I will. I was starting to mention negative spirits. Oh, there we go. Negative spirits sometimes appear as shadowy figures that often prefer the corners of a room. I do love birds too. They're one of my favorite animals. Anyway, negative spirits. So these spirits, we should try our best not to envision them unless we're actually trying to bring them in. Because obviously envisioning them can attract them, right? And depending on what workings you're doing, depends on what you want. However, even negative thoughts can make those spirits arise. That's the word I want. It's important to be conscious of them and face them. Don't ignore them, though. Sorry, I keep getting off up. I do that sometimes. I hope you forgive me. You're fine, Alexa. You don't distract me. Well, I have we call it OSD in my family. Ooh, shiny is basically what it is. So, yes, butterflies also very spiritual. And I do love, to basically anything that can fly, animal-wise. You know, they always remind me of spirit and freedom and air, and so I totally getting the butterflies. I think one of my favorite things to see, and it's probably because of my Nana, is the dragonflies. Whenever I see dragonflies, I immediately associate them with her. I feel at peace. I feel freedom. I feel like the sky's the limit. So, yeah, we all have our different things. For me, I mean, I love birds, bees, like I said, all kinds of flying, creatures, not all of them. The little murder flies we could do without. But anyway, but dragonflies is my big association when it comes to that. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Let me get back on my negative spirits here. I was saying even negative thoughts can bring negative spirits in. And so it's important to be conscious of them, face them, not ignore them. I know I had said that, but I had to get back there. And often those spirits can act as sympathetic company to your shadow self. Don't let them fool you. There's nothing wrong. We want to be able to see our shadow self, and because then that way we can face our own issues and we can heal. But we don't let those negative spirits consume. We can't let that happen. Spirits that are attractive to negative thoughts can, in some ways, help you to see the state that you're in, because they enhance that state. Let me finish this thought here. And of course, they can happen to all of us. They do happen to all of us, right? But they can also contain valuable lessons. So we want to be able to pay attention to them. But don't let them consume us, right? Okay, I'm gonna open Alexa's comment here if I can, without They really do. Kind of happy, peaceful, freedom, energy, but wasps, oh, call them berserker bees or battle flies. Oh, that's cool. There you go. Yeah, battle flies. I call them murder flies. What the hell's going on? I'm outside and my husband is on the inside of the house deciding to try to get my attention. He's very good at that. Anyway, when you're, if and when you do feel that, you feel the negative thoughts, you feel it touching to your shadow self, you feel like you've got something that you need to work on, obviously, envision seeing your shadow self like in front of you. Think of this part of you as lovable, because it is. Perhaps even a protection mechanism you put in order, right? Battle flies, we call them buzzy bitches. Ooh, I like that one, but I like battle flies too. Yeah. Oh, there we go. God, it's chilly out here. And for me, if I'm working on something, I'm going to try to get through it with my shadow self. And then at the same time, I envision hugging myself, right? I'm holding on to myself and merging, and it'll help you heal and attract. And then you can tell that negative spirit, thank you, bye-bye. Anyway, that's my spirit work, working with air elements. I just kind of wanted to throw that in there. I know it's, yeah, anyway. I just kind of wanted to get on that part there. But I think one of the other things that I wanted to touch, spirit work with air elements also includes automatic writing, divination, astral projection, communicating with spirits, receiving and relaying messages, protection, doing work for you in the world, you know, the whole big thing, creativity, and assisting you in your magic. I really do hope that my insights, I'm glad that you liked that I included that in there, because I mean, I really do feel that it's important to know and understand that also, and how the element of air can help you work with your shadow self, and how it can help you to get rid of negativity and those negative spirits. Anyway, I do hope that my insights have helped you with the element of air. Even though it's elusive for a lot of people, it's very rewarding. My magic practices has helped, especially working with air, has really helped my my journey, my practice. Literally, that's my notes, and I thought I had a lot more, but apparently those are pretty quick. See if there's anything that because I did bounce around a little bit that I skipped. If you have any questions, please pop them on at the same time. I just kind of taking a quick peek to see if there's anything that I missed. I don't think I did, but I wanted to double check. Uh-oh. Yeah, there we go. So that's what I have in my notes. Obviously it was not a very long live. I thought it would be a lot longer. If you have any questions or comments, please continue them on. That would be, I have no problem. I would absolutely love to answer them for you. It really is elusive. It is. I've always tried working with all of the elements as much as I possibly can. But air is the most elusive of all of them. Like Alexa says, I like my point of view. Intuition and inspiration. Uh-oh. I get my best ideas on windy days or walks by the lake. Oh, very nice. Yes. Yeah, sometimes even, trying to include all of the elements in my daily life, air still becomes elusive, and I'll get literally out of nowhere, I'll get a gust of wind and I'm like, oh yeah, hi. Sorry, good to see you, and start working with air again. Oh, thank you, Jenny. Yeah, today, we've pretty much have a small 3-hour window today to get as much of our baby vegetable plants in the ground. I've been growing them from seed and they're quite small still, but it's too cold to do it this morning, and after 11 it's going to be too hot, and I do not want to shock them. So it's not going to be my flowers, it's my vegetables. We're trying to get our vegetable garden together this year. So, and we have a lot. It's probably going to be like 2 or 3 hours today, and then 2 or 3 hours tomorrow to get them all in the ground in between that time frame. So thank you. I appreciate that. Right? I do the same thing, Alexa. Moving your hands, when you're doing workings. Well, I move my hands when I talk anyway. And when every now and then, I mean, I don't think of it all the time, but every now and then when I'm consciously thinking of it, I will pay more attention to because I'll do it without thinking about it. I'll pay more attention to who I'm talking to and what I'm actually saying, and realize that if I'm using my hands more or not, right? If I'm using oh, no worries. I'll pay attention, and I'll notice that if I'm using my hands more when I'm talking, that I'm actually subconsciously pushing that energy, moving that energy, and realize, oh, there I go again, working with the air element. You need to plant your mint cuttings into a pot. She's a good girl and grows like crazy. So yay, about to have 2 peppermint pots. Oh, very nice. I have 5 different mints that need to go into the ground today also. Well, today or tomorrow. Chocolate mint, orange mint, peppermint, spearmint, and mojito mint. I have those 5. So I do have a couple of other older wild peppermint plants and some cuttings off of those also. But they are pretty old plants. They've been in the ground for a very, very, very long time. And I really need to kind of cut them back and let them start again. So I have a whole section that's nothing but mint plants, and I just want as many varieties as I can and help the older ones out, give these new ones a chance to grow also. Anyway, without air, I couldn't. Aha! Yeah, that's right. We'll leave that. That is absolutely true, though. Well, hello, boys. I've got the little boy birdies flying in, bringing the girls in. I don't have any food out for them, but that's okay. Oh, I do love mints, and I love all kinds of mints. And I use them in everything, even in our meals. I'll just pop a couple of mint leaves, just like I do with my rosemary or my lavender. I'll put it in my food and throw a couple of sprigs or leaves or whatever in there when I'm cooking. Even mints. If you haven't tried mint on fish, try it. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Anyway, little cooking tidbit there. I love mint on fish is just so good. Right? I love listening to them talk to each other. The birds, they communicate, so I just love hearing them. Anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and let everybody go this morning. I hope you have an absolutely beautiful Saturday. I keep forgetting, but tomorrow is Mommy's Day, Mother's Day. So to all of our moms, grandmas, aunties, because those are, secondary moms, best friends, the two friends that have littles, happy Mother's Day for tomorrow. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to let everybody go. I hope you enjoyed the live on air, and have an absolutely awesome weekend. All right. You all are very welcome. Thank you so very much. On that note, I'm going to skedaddle. Many blessings. Bye.